Hello guys, welcome back to the next videos of this course. So let's learn Playwright from the basic again. And today I would like to continue with how to writing tests in Playwright. So previously we already learned how to install things and everything. So you already understand the basic flow of a Playwright, and then you already learn how to run a test, how the test works, how the test can work in headless mode, how the test can work in the browser mode, and then you already know that there is a UI mode also, and you can see the test result here in a very good, nice HTML report. So we can continue to the next section about how to write the test in the Playwright. All right. So this is the concept app that I already created for you for help you learn how to understand the Playwright test and how the writing the test process is actually happen. So Playwright test mainly contains of two things. It have the action, this one, it has the actions, and the action also have assertion. So basically in testing we have this arrange, act, and action. So actually there will be some arrange, the AAA, arrange the test, act on the web, which is action, and then assert, which is make sure that the output of the website is or the system is accordingly to our needs. So this is what you should know, that Playwright tests are simple. They perform action and assert the state against the expectation. But how to do the action and how to do the assertion correctly, this is the art of the testing. Okay. This is one selling point that Playwright said that there is no need to wait for anything prior to performing an action. This is correct, but practically there is some cases that will need you to do the wait. So not all case, but some case will need you to add the wait manually, I think. Because Cypress also said the same things, but actually in the real world, we have to wait something. And then, I don't know, practically in Playwright, but I also know that every automation test will have a flaky test. There is no like 100% no flaky test. So be careful with the selling point here. And Playwright automatically waits for the wide range of actionability checks to pass prior to performing each action. So all of this action, Cypress will add the waiting process automatically. Cypress also do the same thing. But the works is action have the nature of automatic wait. So the automatic wait is very important, because when we load the app, there will be a JavaScript, there will be CSS, there will be CSS, I'm sorry, there will be network requests. Cypress also add the automatically wait for the API call. Playwright also do the same, but sometimes, I don't know, in any case, when I do the automation testing, there will be some endpoint that doesn't respond or whatever, and the automatic waits will fail. Of course, there will be timeout on these things. There will be some configuration, I think, but let's see where they put this configuration. Let's see, reporter routes. There is no configuration of wait timeout here, but in Cypress they will have something like that. I think we can find later. Okay, so there's also no need to deal with the race condition when performing the check. So in the previous generation of automation tools, we have to wait, add explicit script to wait for an action to do synchronously. But in Playwright and Cypress and another modern testing tools, they already add the handle for this race condition. Okay. Playwright assertions are designed in a way that they describe the expectation that need to be eventually met. Okay, that's it. This design choice allow Playwright users to forget about flaky timeout and racy checks in their test altogether. So let's read this carefully. They said that forget about the flaky timeout, not the flaky test. So the flaky test will still available, and the racy checks are in tests altogether. So they guarantee this in their docs. Flaky timeouts, not a flaky test. So be careful with that. All right. So let's see. So action. Any action in the Cypress have the nature to automatically wait between another action and automatically wait for all the resource needed for the web app is to be loaded. So that's why they add this one. So you do not have to add a manual waiting. Okay, because adding manual wait will make the test longer, and this is bad, so bad. Okay, let's go. Then how to write the first test. So take a look at the following example. See how to write the test. You can see that there is this one. This is the test. I don't know what will you call it, but every test here between this one and this one is a different test, and it will run in a different context and different state of the browser. So this one run in one state, then the page is closed, and then it will open another one, and this one is different realm, different universe between this one. Yeah, so be careful with that. So please understand that this is isolated, this one is another one is isolated also. Okay, the action, let's see the action. Most of the tests will start with navigating page to an URL. So action will have several types. We'll have navigation type action, we'll have an interaction type F action. All right, the navigation will move you to another page. So that's what it said, move you to some page. It will await. This is the things that comes from JavaScript. So you just have to add this. This is the difference between the Cypress and Playwright. In Cypress, you will have to add cy dot something, but in Cypress you will always add this await things on in the beginning of your code. So look at this one. Await, always await. You will be very familiar with await when you're working with Cypress, when you're working with the Playwright. But there will be another tools that help this. Okay, just bear with me, learn the basic first, and then you will understand later. Okay, to go to another page, you go to use page.goto. So see, navigation, the syntax is await page.goto some URL. Okay, go to some URL. So you will have to know that there is a page variable here. This is the template that you need to follow and you need to use when you are working with Playwright. See, await page.goto, and then expect page to have a title. Yeah, something like that. It's very good and very easy, but you have to learn the syntax and get used to it. Okay, then there's another types of action, interaction action. Let's see in the concept map. Interaction. Start with finding element using for locator. See? Performing action. Start with locating elements. You have to find the elements. This is the biggest challenge of QA. Manual QA that wants to learn automation. They have to learn how to pick the best ever selector from an HTML. Most of the time, you will use the selector that been given from the tools. Later on, Playwright will have a tools that allow you to record how your testing works. But most of the time, I think, in my opinion, that tools not giving you the best selector ever. So you need to learn how to do, how to create a good selector. Okay, most of the time in the real world project, the selector will not be available. Sometimes your team forgot to add the ID. Sometimes your team forgot to add the class. Sometimes your team forgot to add the data test ID. There is no data test ID even, and there is no class, no ID, and it's only HTML. So you will have to learn to crawl from the most stable selector into the element that you need to do action. Okay, be careful with that. So this one, look at this one. How to create a locator. You can create a variables and then use the page variable again and then get by something. This one is role, get by role, the role is link, where name is get started. And then once the selector is found, I think, you will have to wait and then get started dot click. This is the action. Okay, so this is how it works. So you have to go, while you want to do some action, you will have to use interaction, and you find the element using locator and then wait for the element to be given an action. So the action is a kind of a loop. If you want to do something, you will have to interact with the element, and then based on that location, but on the locator, you will have to do action based on that locator. If you do not have the locator, what will you do with the action? You will only have the page, right? But we need something inside the page. How to get that one? You will have to take the navigation, the interaction. Using the interaction, you will have to get the element. You will have to get a locator of the element. So, for example, you want this link, you will have to find this. And then after you find the location, the locator, and then you can add an action to it. So this is the most important skill. Find the locator. Sometimes the tools from Playwright will give you a correct locator. Sometimes it's not. So most of the time, I think the flaky test may be caused by a poor locator that we created. Okay. Then there is so many basic action that you will have to learn and get familiar with, because all of this action will have some basic action. The locator.check, locator.click, locator.uncheck, locator.hover, fill, select option, set input file, press, focus, and fill. All of this locator, this is the basic action. This is will connect it to one specific HTML element on the page. It can be checkbox, it can be a button, it can be another checkbox to uncheck it, it can be button text, whatever. Any HTML element that can be hover will be used this. It can be fill, a form. You want to fill something like this. Fill the form field with an input text. You can focus on the element. You can press a single key. You can files to upload. You can have select option to the drop down, and etc. And maybe so many other action available, but you will have to check further about the locator API here. So basically, every normal and standard action that user can be done to our website is supported by the Playwright. And I think using this basic action is enough. But if you somehow need more difficult locator, maybe for whatever reason, double click, for example, you can have it. Yeah, there is a double click also. Right click maybe. There's the right click here. There's no right click. This is a little bad. No right click. there is a click, then maybe some specific, this one, shift right click specific position on the canvas. You can use this. Click, but with some option. So there is an option, button, left, right, middle. So it is already completed. So right click is something like this, guys. And there is a AI based app that allow you to right click on specific element, something. This will be very useful to do tests. Okay. This is how to do it. So every action in the user that every action that user can do to a browser usually listed here. So you can check it out all by yourself. So let's see. Then assertion. See, the concept of an action is like this. Don't forget that it will be automatically wait. So you do not have to add a manual wait. And there will be a navigation type. There will be an interaction type. This interaction is very important because it will find a locator. When a locator can be found, then you will wait for an element to be given an action. So you cannot do any action if you cannot find a locator. Okay? If you do not have a locator. Right? So please be careful with this one. Sometimes it's flaky, not because of the Playwright, but because you give a bad locator. All right, let's go continue with the assertion. The assertion function use a function called expect. So in every automation test, maybe they will have something like expect in the PHP unit test. Everything they will use expect. It means that it will expect something outputted by the system. In the Playwright case, the expect will be showed in the website, in the web. There are many generic matchers, so there will be generic matchers, something like this. It will expect something in to be equal, to be contained, and to be truthy. So generic matcher, the generic matcher have these three types. But of course, in a real-world application, we need another matcher. There is a matcher that async matcher. So there is a generic one, there is a synchronous one. Why it is asynchronous? Because for an element to be visible, we can have a website that have animation. That's why it is asynchronous. So this visibility will come maybe 1 second or 2 seconds after an request to the backend, something like notification, something like animation. That's why this is an asynchronous matcher. But it will be wait for this element to be visible before a timeout is called. So the async matcher can be used for an element to be visible, an element to be checked, an element to be enabled, an element to be have text. For a page to have a URL, and for a page to have a title. So it can be used to a page, to an locator, to an element, or anything in that's available in the HTML page. And these async matchers will wait for the condition made to ensure the non-flaky test. So if you have a matcher that wait for some things, for some notification to be visible, it will wait until this notification is visible. It's at certain times when there is a timeout reach. When this element not visible, the test will fail. The test will fail. All the tests at the bottom will fail. Okay, it will fail. Okay. Sorry about my English, but that's what I mean. So let's see example of a test here. All right, let's go to my code, I think. So we have this one. This is the part where the action is navigate action. And then this is the part where interaction action, find the element and click. And then this is the validation, the expect action. The expect. So what will you expect from the page? You expect a page, then there is a function get by role. I don't know what is this role. There is so many roles here you can choose. I think we need to read the documentation further, but there is so many roles that you can choose, and then it will give these parameters also, and it also can be chained. So you get by role and expect to be visible. Role page get by role is the selector, the locator, and then the to be visible is the assertion, the expect, the part of this expect. All right, that is the basic, I think, and I hope you understand that every test you need to do some navigation, you need to find some locator, and then you need to do something with that locator, either interact with that, yeah, something like this, find the locator and then interact. And in the assertion, you will expect some locator to be something. Yeah, that's the how to do the basic works of automatic testing with Playwright. So you go to some page, you find some locator, you do something with that locator, wait for it, something have to be happen. You will expect some locator to be visible, to be invisible, to be whatever, and then it will be your expect. And if your expectation met, and then it will be true and it will be green. But if doesn't met the condition, it will be red. For example, if we have like 4 expect here, when this first expect fail, all the tests will be failed. So all the tests at the bottom will not be executed. All right. That's it for today. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to watch the next videos. Okay. See you guys in the next videos.